This is the MLW Radio Network. This is the Mind of the Meanie. Here are your hosts, the Blue Meanie and Adam Barnard.
Peace, world, and welcome everybody to the Mind of the Meanie, your weekly peek into the world according to former WWE superstar and ECW original, the Blue Meanie. We'll cover wrestling, music, movies, sports, and lots of useless knowledge, all contained in the Mind of the Meanie. I am your tour guide, Adam Barnard, and he is the Blue Meanie. Meanie, what's on your mind?
You know, I've been watching a lot of documentaries this week. And I was like, man, I would really love to talk about them on Mind of the Meanie, but like I'm really bad with fucking film reviews. So I'm thinking, like I watched 3 movies. I'm sure if I gave a review of one, I would give parts from different movies for like the one. So I want to maybe, pitch an idea for the Mind of the Meanie. Meanie's shitty movie reviews. The movies aren't shitty, just the reviews. Because, I just like, it's like, oh yeah, and then this guy did that thing. Which guy? I don't know. It's just a fucking guy. He did that fucking thing. But I watched, what did I watch this week? The Tinder Swindler, which everybody's fucking raving about.
The Tinder Swindler?
Yeah, this fucking dude met women on Tinder and presented himself as this guy who worked in the diamond industry, that his dad was the king of diamonds and he was the diamond prince and all this stuff. And he did this to like woo over this woman, and he's flying around on jets and all this other stuff. And it just turns out to be this like huge Ponzi scheme.
Whoa.
Spoiler alert. I don't really want to give too much away because it's still kind of new.
Yeah.
And I'm watching people talk, like finally discovering it online. And I'm like, dude, if you watch Tinder Swindler, let me bring up the name. We watched this back to back. We watched Tinder Swindler, and we watched The Puppet Master Hunting the Ultimate Con Man. And that's like Tinder Swindler, just dark. It's like, oh, wow. There's a lot of, how did he get away with it? Like I watch these people, like these con men, just like convince people to do this shit. Like the Puppet Master, the guy fucking convinced this teenage girl, to leave college and move around the country with him for like 10 years, and got off all communications from her family, and the government had to get involved to hunt them down and rescue the daughter. He convinced the one other kid to drop out of college, tells friends that he had terminal cancer and he was just going about to see the country before he dies as his cover for just going away so nobody would come look for him and all this stuff. So it's like, it's insane. It's insane. He's like, he told him he was like a government agent, like MI5.
Terminal cancer, dude?
Yeah, he convinced them to tell these people that, and people just assumed he died, just because I'm good. I don't have much to live, so I'm going to go about the countryside and see the country before I die, and then like out of sight, out of mind, people just assumed he went off to die, but he's traveling with this guy who says he's MI5, and they're searching for bombers and all this goofy shit. Moving from house to house, pulling scam to scam, and using them as a marks or whatever. But yeah, if you watch Tinder Swindler and then watch the Puppet Master one, oh my God, it just makes you wonder. It's like, look, I can't convince myself to take the trash out on trash night. This guy's convincing people just give over hundreds of thousands of dollars. Just
honestly, dude, like my trash can sat in front of my house for 2 days, and I'm going, I don't want to fucking get them right now. How does somebody orchestrate something like, or I mean, even like think about Fyre Fest. Have you ever seen the documentaries about Fyre Fest?
Yeah, I watched both of them.
The two. Which one did you like better? Did you like the Hulu one or the Netflix one?
the Hulu one had the actual guy who did the con, right?
I think it was. I think that was the right one. I thought they were both decent.
Just the fact they were able to pull that off, just to convince people. And there was this other one, man, where this guy was like, here comes the shitty movie review.
I need that Sam Krebs button right now, man.
Yeah,
no, it's time.
Shit. Here's the thing. I watched so many documentaries back to back to back to back to back. Like, by the time I get to the third one, the first two are like already erased from my memory. I'm like Kelly Bundy on the game show. You know, you introduce a new piece of memory into the machine, and something else has to go out, of the brain. But these documentaries. There's one on Netflix. A guy was like, he's talking to people into, I can't remember. It was like he was like renting out office spaces or something like that. Like this. I'll save it for next week. I'll bring it up.
We'll look it up.
Just how these people are so convincing to get people to just give them money or start businesses, and Firefest, and then the We Are. It's like We Are something. The other one, but like hundreds of thousands of dollars. Just the Tinder Swindler. He was conning the one person with the money of the previous person that he was conning. So he would go on to the next person, and he would con the next person with the money from the person he had just conned. My card's not working. Can you send me $200,000? My enemies are after me, and all this stuff. Like, he had this whole guys that being the Diamond King, there's people who are following him and trying to get his information, and they had to shut down his social media for a little bit and all this stuff. And what you don't know is they're using the WhatsApp. So the WhatsApp is saving all the recordings and photos and everything. So these women the main two women went to the press, and so here's the access, and they used all that stuff for the documentary, and it's just like mind blowing. How this guy could just do it. He's like renting Lear jets and flying all over the world. It's like, oh my God, it's insane.
I can't even, I legit, I have a hard time when I watch these shows because I can't wrap my mind around, legit, like what you're saying. I can't wrap my mind around how someone is able to not only set something up like this, but then execute it, right? Again, going back to the Fire Festival, imagine setting that up and pushing it with fucking Ja Rule, of all people, right? Of all people in the entire world, this guy fucking conned Ja Rule into helping him put together this festival. And then they show up with fucking FEMA tents, on an island that's completely deserted. I just can't.
Feeding them bologna sandwiches.
They weren't even bologna. They were cheese on bread with lettuce and tomato. It was like, what the fuck? And these people paid thousands and thousands of dollars to this guy. I watched this one called McMillions. Did you watch that one?
The McDonald's ticket scam.
That one was wild. I could not believe that. I was just shocked that someone was. It seemed like it was like a mafia scam or something. It was like some guy that was in the mafia, or it was like loosely affiliated with the mafia, was basically running a scam inside of the place with these guys from McDonald's, and one of their guys was involved on it, or they were there was some kind of crazy. If you've never seen it, seriously, it's wild. We watched that one right at the beginning of the pandemic. It was March.
I was about to say that. Yeah, I was about to say that because we binged so much at the beginning of the pandemic.
Yeah,
that was one of the first things we watched all the way through, and it's just they get you.
Yeah,
because they hit you with the line right at the end of the one episode, and then you're like, oh well, I gotta watch the next episode.
Yeah.
So yeah, we beginning of the pandemic, we definitely watched that one. Insane.
I still haven't watched the new season of, or has the new season of Tiger King come out yet?
I kind of fell off with that. I kind of, it's just the guy was like a sleazy, like, I mean, he did run wrestling shows, but it's just like, I was enamored at first, and then it was just like, they came out with part 2, and you're just like, all right, enough of this fucking guy.
Yeah, we watched the first season, I guess, all the way through, and it was like, all right, like this is fucking crazy, and then it just kept getting crazier, and then by the end, I felt like I needed a shower because I just felt so gross, And then it was like, oh, season 2's coming out. I'm like, oh, right, cool, like a throwback to 2020, and I'm like, I don't know if I want to see this. I think my interest is completely dwindled on this.
You got me with the first one. You could have left it like that. We could have had all the memes and all the funny stuff, but then they tried to overcapitalize on it.
Yeah, it got a little bit too much. Like there was a certain level that was like, okay, we're pushing this a little too hard now.
Yeah, it was like Caddyshack II. I was like, fuck that shit.
Caddyshack II.
Probably one of the worst sequels ever.
Oh my god, that movie's fucking terrible, man.
Who'd they get to replace the Rodney Dangerfield role?
Well, Chevy Chase was in that one too, right?
No, Dan Aykroyd was in it.
That's it. Let me see. I'm pulling it up right now. Also, shout out to the Pod Squad. Vanessa has informed us that it indeed has come out. Season 2 of Tiger King, and I still haven't watched it. So Chevy Chase was in it, and was he? Dan Aykroyd. Let me see. I'm trying to find out. Ted Knight had died 2 years earlier.
Oh.
And Chevy Chase did agree to appear, but Dangerfield backed out of the film because he thought it was going to basically shit the bed, which it did.
Which is funny because when Rodney Dangerfield was recording the first Caddyshack, he was like really insecure about his performance because he's used to being on stage and having immediate feedback, where when you're filming a movie, people aren't allowed to laugh.
Yeah.
They have to react like in the scene. The audience watching at home or in the theater, they're allowed to laugh. So he was like, hey, am I doing okay? Nobody's laughing. They're like, they're not supposed to laugh, Rodney. And once he got over that initial, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Then he just like let it rip, and then that it became the classic it is. Rodney made that movie, and I don't think even Rodney was supposed to have that major of a part, but just the way his filming was going, they kept like adding stuff for Rodney to do in that movie.
It looks like I think it was Jackie Mason who replaced. What's his face? Dangerfield. But I'm like reading about this now because I'm like looking at this, and it's like. Harold Ramis said that the movie was terrible.
Right. He
said the studio begged me to do it, and he said he hated it, and it was just this terrible script, and he was just like, don't do this. Why don't we let it die? Chevy Chase said to the film's director, he goes, call me when you've dubbed the laugh track, because the cast hated the film so much. So like the cast hates the film, the director hates it. Like, why? Just what a shit show, man. Never. I don't think I've ever watched it all the way through.
No. Once I realized Rodney was in it, I gave no shits.
Nope.
That and there were shitty sequels. Slapshot 2 was kind of shitty.
Yeah.
No, it was shitty. Well, there's no kind of about it. The Major League 2 was actually pretty good as far as sequels to movies.
Yeah. Surprisingly
I'm trying
enough.
to think.
I thought that was pretty solid.
The best thing about Major League 2 is Wesley Snipes backed out because he wanted to become an action star. So they took his character in the movie Willie Mays Hayes, recasted it, and they're like, well, what you do in the off season? And they had his character film all these, they showed a movie trailer for a movie he shot with Jesse the Body Ventura, how he was an action star in the off season, kind of taking a shoot jab at, Wesley Snipes for backing out of the movie. So it was a kind of like a really cool, like a wink and a nod, fuck you, Wesley kind of thing,
Here's another one of my favorite, or one of my like, I guess favorite what if stories in movies is Ghostbusters. So there was a lot of like cast changes and shit that happened between like the beginning of the movie and because John Belushi, I believe, was supposed to play the part that Bill Murray ended up playing. I think that was who it was written for. And then Harold Ramis's role was actually supposed to be played by Chevy Chase. So, I think they all backed out. Well, obviously, Belushi died before they started filming. And then Eddie Murphy actually was supposed to play the part of Winston. And he was in negotiations for that role and dropped out so he could do Beverly Hills Cop. But so it's like, we kind of, we won on both ends. But like, I still would be like, oh man, could you imagine if Eddie Murphy had been, Winston in freaking Ghostbusters? The role apparently was supposed to be way larger than it ended up being. It was smaller than it ended up being, that it was supposed to be Winston. There was a whole backstory about him being like a Vietnam vet, and like they had this whole thing written, and then a bunch of it got cut like at the last minute, which is kind of lame. But I feel like have you seen the new one yet?
No, but I want to.
Oh man,
I want to.
So good.
Yeah, and that was another movie that had a good sequel. Ghostbusters 2 was really good. A little bit. Here's how nuts I am. For the longest time, I refused to watch Ghostbusters 2 because the logo on the sleeve had the ghost holding up the 2 symbol, which took me, ruined my, was it the believability, the disbelief.
Oh, it broke kayfabe for you, if you will.
It broke kayfabe. It broke that fourth wall where they're running around with suits on with the 2 symbol on it. I'm like, come on, what's the 2 for? I mean, are they... Now I know I'm watching a movie. You mean this isn't a documentary? But then I got over myself.
Right.
My smart markness and watched it, and I actually enjoyed it. Ghostbusters 2 was really good. If you're a diehard Ghostbusters fan, my friend Tommy Avalone helped produce a documentary called Ghost Heads, which it might still be on Netflix, but it talks to like diehard Ghostbusters fans, talks to I want to say Ivan Reitman.
Oh, no shit.
They talked to a bunch of people from the movie as well, but it's a really good documentary. They show the people who are like the hardcore, diehard Ghostbusters fans. It's called Ghost Heads. Definitely check it out.
Yeah, it's right here. It looks like Dan Aykroyd, Ivan Reitman, Sigourney Weaver, and Paul Feig were in it.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. My boy Tommy does a lot of good documentaries now. And,
here he is, Tommy Avalone.
Yeah. He's been on the podcast. We had him on for the Bill Murray stories.
Oh, yeah. He did the Bill Murray. Oh, man. My favorite, and I'm sure he's probably heard this one. He probably talked about it. The Bill Murray one where he's at the bar and he reaches over and grabs somebody's French fry and he picks it up and looks at the person who eats it. He's like, no one will ever believe you.
Well, here's the funny thing is he decided to do the documentary because I told him a Bill Murray story, but I told him the story the wrong way.
Oh.
Which is funny, which adds to because we filmed, he wanted to recreate me telling him that story for the documentary.
Uh-huh.
Because I told him the story at McCusker's, so let's film it at McCusker's. And I told the story. As I'm telling the story, Doug, the bartender Dougie from McCusker's, goes, "You're telling the story the wrong way. It didn't happen this way." I told a story where the guys at a urinal and Bill Murray puts his hands over the guy's eyes and says, "No one ever believe you," and walk out. Apparently, the story I told was even wrong, but that adds to the allure of. It's kind of like telephone, you tell the story so many times, a key piece changes and stuff like that. But, there's the French fry story. And then, him just showing up at a kickball game, which they found a lot of people who told stories and had actual footage too, which is really cool. But,
he photobombed a wedding recently, or a couple, maybe it was probably closer to 10 years ago now, but he was in New York City and there was a bride and groom taking photos and he just walked up and was like, "Hey, how's it going?" Holy shit.
Actually, that was in North Carolina.
Oh, that's what it was, North Carolina. Yeah.
And I only know that because I watched the documentary. I'm not some, actually.
Well, Adam, I have to let you know.
Excuse me, Mr. Barnard. No, but, no, seriously, And he talks in the documentary, they talked to that couple.
Wow.
And they're like, we're sitting here posing, and right over the photographer's shoulder, we're seeing Bill Murray. And they were so distracted in their own photos. They're like, please, you got to come in. And they showed the photo, he sits in and poses with them.
That's crazy, man.
He goes to a bar in Texas, and this shows up and starts bartending.
Yeah, and he was only making people like rum and cokes or something, right? Like it was like one gin and tonic or rum and coke or something. Yeah,
something like that. And then they're like, "Hey, we're having a house party. You want to come?" And he comes in and sits in with the band. So the cops come knocking at the door, and Bill Murray answers the door, and the cops are like, "Oh, all right, just please turn it down a little bit." Yeah. Just like all these great stories that are captured in the documentary from people who lived them, and a lot of them had the footage to show it. Bill, playing tambourine or playing drums or shit.
That's crazy, man. Absolutely insane. I love it, man.
Yeah.
But you know what else is insane, Meanie? As a transition, James Harden is now officially a part of the Philadelphia 76ers. Who would have thought? Sports Illustrated reporting that the Rockets traded the Nets, traded former MVP to the Philadelphia 76ers for Ben Simmons. Peace out, dude.
Yeah.
Peace out.
Yeah, they got rid of a few. They traded Ben. I forget who else they traded, but the talks were coming along. Like, we're going. Somebody broke the stories that the Sixers and the Nets were heavy in negotiations for a Harden Ben Simmons trade. I was like, please don't trade Maxey and please don't trade Thibault, because there are two young guys who I think it carries really well into the future.
Right.
There's some about Maxey on the Sixers that I love. He's like a spark plug. He's just like got this energy. You just watch him play and you're like, man, that guy loves what he's doing. So I don't. If we're gonna get rid of Ben Simmons, which I really wanted to happen, I'll drive him to the fucking airport. I just didn't want to lose those two pieces. So I'm sitting on my couch and I'm going through. I'm going through my feed, my Twitter feed, and all of a sudden there's the thumbnail. NBC Sports Philadelphia. The deal is done. And it's Harden wearing a Sixers jersey. I'm like, what? So I'm like, please, hopefully. And I read who we sent with Ben to there. And I was like,
it's Ben Simmons, Seth Curry, Andre Drummond, and then 2 first-round draft picks. And then we got James Harden and Paul Millsap.
Yeah, I'm kind of bummed we lost Drummond.
Yeah.
Because he, when Joel, sits out for like a play or two, that's the guy who comes in, the big monstrous guy, Drummond. But, we got Maxey and we still have Thibault, so I was relieved with that. But and you listen to sports talk, I immediately, because I'm a sports talk radio junkie, start listening, and they're playing the sound clips from up in New York, and they think they got the steal of the deal. And it's just like, it's just like waiting to sit around. I'm waiting. I'm going to wait, and I'm going to sit, and I'm going to watch these Nets fans watch Ben Simmons play. It's going to be like watching a kid realize there's no Santa Claus.
Yeah.
Just because, I've been through the years of Ben Simmons being intentionally fouled by the other team because they know he can't throw a free throw.
Yeah.
The breaking point last year in the playoffs was he was underneath the basket with a clear dunk. All he had to do was jump up and dunk the ball, and he passed it.
What's wrong with this guy?
Well, here's what's wrong with him. And I'm no doctor.
Now it's time for Dr. Meanie's assessment.
But what's great? I'm not a doctor, but I stayed at Holiday Inn Express last night. No, here's what's wrong with Ben Simmons. And this is something I learned from Matt Riddle. Because he talked about, how some people transfer from one line to the UFC, or they go from practice, they go to practice, but once the bright lights are on you,
Yeah.
some people, and when the bright lights and the cameras are on, some people thrive in it, and then there's some people just shrink.
Mm-hmm.
So Ben Simmons might have been great, through college. He's from Australia. He did great in Australia. Came over here, played in college here. He was babied. Handpicked coaches, all that stuff. So he gets to the big leagues, the NBA, and when you get to the playoffs, where the eyes of the world are on you, you either thrive or you thrive in the light or you shrink in the light. And he just shrunk. He couldn't handle the pressure, and the coach before him, just coddled him because we were in the process years, the tanking years.
Yeah.
So now we got Doc Rivers in who.
Oh yeah.
Isn't going to go. Well, here's the thing. Doc Rivers kind of covered for Ben for a couple of years, and people were critical of Ben, and Doc Rivers was like, "Oh, you guys don't know what you have. You should cherish having Ben Simmons." And then the last set of playoffs when Ben didn't dunk that ball, and the Sixers got eliminated, and they're like, "Is Ben Simmons on the team next year?" And Doc Rivers goes, "Man, I don't know."
Oh man.
Now, I'll say this. A lot of the Sixers' problems last year rides on Doc Rivers' shoulders, too, because he's the
he's the
king
coach.
of... No, but he has a history of blowing leads as a coach, and because they should have beat the Atlanta Falcons.
Right.
But, there's some games they're up 30 points and they blew the game. How do you what? But a lot of it rode on Doc Rivers' shoulders, too, but Ben Simmons didn't help the cause. Sometimes the players can bail out a coach. If you got enough talent, good enough players can bail out a bad coach.
Right,
but,
right.
Ben Simmons was just so bad. He's good defensively, but as soon as he gets the ball, the other team knows they can foul him because when he goes to the free throw line, he's not going to make a single one. So it is very frustrating. And just the fact that, when they announced the trade, it was like, I can imagine the only feeling I could probably equate it to is a landlord winning a case to get rid of a squatter. Just, this guy's sitting here. He's not doing anything. He's not, contributing. Get him the fuck out of here.
Honestly, man.
And
especially with all the shit with the vaccine stuff and like all that other crap. It's just like, dude, just get the fuck out of here, man. We don't need this shit. We don't just get out. Just go somewhere else and tank their team. So,
dude, I am going to. Well, here's the deal. I'm sure people from other seasons, other countries are enjoying us talk Philly sports. But if you want to watch old school wrestling heat, March 10th, Ben Simmons and the Nets are coming to fucking Philly. And the tickets are already the nosebleed seats are going for $200 a piece.
Whoa. Holy shit, dude.
So if you want to watch like Thunderdome type fucking heat, not WWE Thunderdome.
Right.
But like Mad Max
Thunderdome.
Fucking kill him kind of heat, like Roman Coliseum heat when Ben Simmons comes back to... I think there's a prop bet out there whether he even makes the trip to Philly or not.
I feel like that's going to be another like Philadelphia legendary story. It just already in writing. It's going to be JD Drew all over again.
Yeah.
When if he shows up, shows up, because I don't think
that is his real name.
Yeah, if that is your real name.
Yeah.
He ain't coming here. He's not coming.
Fuck you, Ben Simmons.
Yeah. Good riddance to bad rubbish. Speaking of rubbish, unfortunately, I got to give a shout out to Pod Squad member Liam Savage, who is stuck in quarantine right now.
Oh, man.
It looks like his brother is sick, and we wish you both the best, gentlemen, hoping a quick recovery for everybody. So glad you are joining us here this lovely morning here.
Shout out to Liam Savage. Hopefully you aren't getting hit with it too bad. Like I tell everybody, just drink some electrolytes, drink a lot of fucking Gatorade and Powerade and shit like that, and just stay hydrated and just flush that shit out. Not that it's a cure, but it'll help you get through that. When I got my shots and got boosted, they say you kind of feel the effects of COVID. So it's just like, oh,
yeah.
Thank God I was just drinking Pedialyte and Gatorade all day. So shout out to the Pod Squad for joining us. We have a full chat room here.
Yeah, we got a lot of activity going on here. I love it. Andrew Bailey saying, Simmons will never play in Philly again. Maybe if it's the playoffs, but he ain't showing up. I think you're correct, pal. I don't think he's coming back.
Well, that's the thing. The Sixers and the Nets are more than likely going to face each other in the playoffs. You mean he's going to take a playoff game off because he doesn't want to play in Philly?
I don't know, man.
I'm sure Brooklyn will appreciate that.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm curious to see. I'm excited to see James Harden. It looks like he's not going to play until Tuesday. So tomorrow, if you're listening to this, he's not going to. They said at least until then. So
dude, I was driving up 95. Like, I hear the announcement. We got Harden. Started listening to sports talk. I had to run some errands. I'm driving up 95. And on 95, they already had the electronic billboards. The beard is here.
Yep, there's one down here on 30 too. I just saw it the other day coming home for literally right after the trade. It's all the white beard and the design and shit. Yeah,
the outline. Cool. I tweeted at them, please make that a T-shirt.
They have to, man. But listen, Meanie, I got some exciting news. For us, pal.
Yes.
Our friends at Manscaped, they just launched their 4th generation performance package. This ultimate package includes the Lawnmower 4.0. You heard that right. The 4.0. The leaders in male grooming have done it again to make your grooming game the next level. Join the 4 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with the new Performance Package 4.0 by going to manscaped.com right now for 20% off plus free shipping with using the promo code Meanie20. And Meanie, I got to tell you, using that regular razor to trim up Little John on the East Side boys is like jumping out of an airplane without a parachute strapped to your back and putting it on while you're flying. Let me tell you something. It's never a good thing to nick your nuts while you're shaving them or right around the shaft area. You definitely don't want to do that, which is why Manscaped is here to help. Meanie, how has Manscaped helped you not nick your balls?
Before Manscaped, it was like running through a gauntlet of razor blades and then cannonballing into a pool of rubbing alcohol.
My God, it's so awful.
But now with Manscaped, everything's awesome. Their technology is great. The thing I love about the clippers, it's so quiet.
Yeah.
Before, back in the day when you try to trim up and you're using the clippers you use for your head, it would sound like, you're using a literal lawnmower. But with the Lawnmower 4.0, it's ironic that it's so silent.
Yes.
And the light and, so you could see and all that good stuff. But I love all their products. They gave me the body wash, the 2-in-1 shampoo conditioner. I love the foot spray. I keep talking about the foot spray, but hey, I was born with Fred Flintstone feet. Take a nice shower at the end of the day, and then get in bed and spray the feet with their green tea foot spray. And I'm in heaven.
Yeah, dude. It's fantastic. All of the products are going to be contained in this Performance Package 4.0 by Manscaped. It has arrived, and oh man, it is worth the wait. Inside this package, you'll find the Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, the Weed Whacker ear and nose hair trimmer, the Crop Preserver ball deodorant, the Crop Reviver toner, the Performance boxer briefs, and a travel bag to hold your goodies. Not those goodies, but all the things that you'll get from Manscaped. Their 4th generation trimmer features a cutting-edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents thanks to their advanced skin-safe technology. The Lawnmower 4.0 has a 7,000 RPM motor, a new multifunction on and off switch that can engage a travel lock and give you the ability to turn on the 4000K LED spotlight on and off when you need a more precise shave. Did I mention, Blue Meanie, that this trimmer is also waterproof? I don't know if I mentioned that,
amazing.
but I'm mentioning it right now. And if you thought that was good, but you want to take your grooming game even further to the next level, the 4.0 also features the Weed Whacker to chop the worst weeds up top in your nose and your ears. Seal the deal as well with Manscaped's Liquid Formation, their Crop Preserver Ball Deodorant, before you leave the house, and the Crop Reviver Ball Toner for a mid-game ball check. Speaking of basketball, trust me when I say this, fellas, your balls will thank you. Manscaped even threw in 2 free gifts to their Performance Package 4.0, the Manscaped Boxer Briefs and the Shed Travel Bag. Bring your comfort and boxers to another level. Get 20% off plus free shipping by using the promo code Meanie20 at manscaped.com. That's 20% off plus free shipping with the promo code Meanie20 at manscaped.com. Your balls have been through enough this past year. Treat them with the best tools for the job at Manscaped. Wow. Slid right in there with the music, pal. I like that.
Hit the post.
Yeah, hitting the post, man. That was good stuff. Thank you to our friends at Manscaped again for sponsoring the program for us this week. And thank you to the Pod Squad, as always, for joining us.
Yes. Thank you to Manscaped and the Pod Squad for keeping the lights on.
That's right.
At the Mind of the Meanie.
And if you want to join us early while we're recording the show and watch our beautiful faces record this, you can go to patreon.com/mindofthemeanie and become part of the Pod Squad today. We have multiple tiers. We would love to have you join us for the recordings. I love the idea of doing your Meanie's shitty movie reviews. I'm like stuck on it. I can literally hear like the slow down music for Sam's read on it. I can't wait to do that, dude.
And now, Meanie's shitty movie reviews. The movies aren't shitty, just the reviews.
Just the reviews.
I can see us doing clips for like the YouTube channel and stuff like that. So yeah, this guy did this thing, and oh man, was it funny?
Oh man, it was great. It was super. Yeah, who was it? Oh man, I don't know. I can't remember his name. Whoa.
Oh, that guy?
Yeah,
what
yeah,
an
that
asshole.
It's like talking. It's like talking to Courtney. She's the same way. I just watched this commercial with this guy, and he did this thing, and I'm like, what thing? Like, what? There's so many things.
Pronouns, pal. Pronouns.
Who's we? God damn it, Courtney. We're talking about the pronouns, pal. Jesus, that's so good.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. Liam's actually wearing the Manscaped boxer briefs right now. I love it. Look at the Pod Squad taking advantage of this stuff. It's fantastic. Manscaped.com/ or manscaped.com, promo code Meanie20.
I know we just finished the ad, but seriously, the bag they give you to carry all your stuff in it looks like it would cost like $100.
Wow.
Like it's this nice leather bag that's like, it looks really, all their products look classy.
Yeah.
You know, it's just, we get it, Manscaped, what it's for, all that thing. And they could have easily went the chintzy route and just been like, hee balls. No, but like all their products looked real. They look sleek. They look classy. And, you know, they work really well.
Yeah.
You know, I love the ear and nose trimmer, you know, because I'm getting to that age, you know. I mean, it was once in a while, you know, when I'm shaving my face, I got to do the little unibrow gimmick, you know. But with Manscaped now, I got the nose and ear trimmer, and I belong to the club where every like 3 months they send you replacement blades.
Oh wow!
So I just replaced the blade in my ear and nose trimmer, which for me is quite an accomplishment. Because me with technology is like. It's like Zoolander when they're trying to get the files out of the fucking computer and they're just fucking banging on it like a couple, Neanderthals, you know.
That's funny, man.
Yeah, but yeah, they sponsor our show. Yeah, we read what they tell us, but I actually we use the products and believe in them. I use a day. Oh, I'm 48 going on 49, so I got to use that ear and nose trimmer almost daily. Yeah,
I'm starting to get there, dude. I gotta check it out like every couple of days in my nose. I'm like, why are these growing so fast? It's insane.
Yeah, it looks like mine looks like a fucking straw man, straddling a fence. It's just, I sneeze and it's like two party favors. Just like,
I didn't get to mention my gimmick. I didn't mention button in a fur coat, but here it is.
Yeah. Koala pick you through the bushes.
Breaking news, apparently. Wait, that was too low. Let's try that again. Breaking news on the show. Jason Kelce is going to be returning next season, according to Pod Squad member Andrew Bailey. I'm looking it up right now.
Dude, good. Dude, if there was ever a man crush, it's Jason Kelce. He talk about a guy who's embodied the spirit of a city.
Yeah.
And I know this isn't like sorry folks for who's outside Philly, then we're turning into 94 WIP here. But when the Eagles won the Superb Owl a couple of years ago.
The big game.
Yeah. When they won that a couple of years ago, people outside the city didn't know what to make of Jason Kelce because he was wearing a Mummers uniform going down the parade route, and he gave that epic speech. But good Lord, talk about a guy who's embodied the spirit of the city of Philadelphia. When they won the Super Bowl, or the Superb Owl, sorry. Don't want to get sued.
I was going to say, I'll have Carl throw a bleep over that.
Yeah. throw a little owl noise, or whatever. Jason, I mean, that's why Philly's such a great sports city. And most of the people who play here, when their career's over, they stay here.
Yeah.
So, but Jason Kelce, he lives here.
Yeah.
I mean, he doesn't go anywhere else in the off season. He lives here, and he has the lady who cuts his hair. Her husband is a part of the Mummers Brigade, and he's like, "Hey, can you find me an outfit that I could possibly wear for the parade?" And his hairstylist's husband went to the Mummers Museum and got him that Mummers outfit because he knew that was like the right thing to do to celebrate in Philly. And the cool thing about that whole parade is there's a lot of members of the Philadelphia. Oh, I'm going to get fucking teary-eyed here. Members of the Philadelphia Eagles who wore jerseys of past players
that's awesome.
as a sign of respect to the players who, killed it, who were legends in Philly and never got a chance to win a Super Bowl. Somebody was wearing Reggie White. What's his name? Chris Long wore an Allen Iverson jersey, which I know isn't Eagles, but Allen Iverson should have won at least one NBA Finals here in Philly.
For sure.
He's legendary for the step over in the Lakers game. Jason Kelce, man, talk about a guy who this city, when he decides to retire, we will erect a statue to that man.
Yep.
And I want to give the first dollar towards the crowdfunding for it. If the city decides they don't want to, I will, gladly pay money for that,
Yeah, absolutely. His speech is so good, man. No one likes us. We don't care. I can't imagine a more Philadelphia thing to be saying at any time in the world.
When they won the Super Bowl, I was at Donnie and Bev's house, and so we're like, for the parade, we'll just go over to Donnie and Bev's house. So we're watching live on the news, like the pre-parade. Like Donnie and Bev lived right off the parade route. So it's just like go out the door and make a right,
Yeah.
So we're watching, and you see Jason Kelce on live TV, shaking hands with people, going, "No one likes us. We don't care. We're from Philly. Fucking Philly." On live TV going, "Fucking Philly."
Oh, shit. I'm looking at a photo of Chris Long right now in the Iverson jersey holding the WWE championship that was given to them after they won the Super Bowl with the Eagles plates on it. That's fucking rad, man.
Yeah. And I posted photos because a couple days ago was like 4-year anniversary of the parade. And I caught a photo of Chris Long holding up the WWE belt along with Doug Peterson holding up the Lombardi.
Oh, that's awesome, man.
Probably one of the greatest days of my life. And I know, it's just sports. But sports is such a great distraction from real life, you know?
Yeah, dude.
I mean, imagine just going through whatever you're going through, work, bills, I have to get my car repaired. I have to get a tooth pulled. You got all this weight, but you know what? Fuck it. Let me watch. I can't wait to watch the Eagles. I can't wait to watch the Sixers. I can't wait to watch the Phillies or Flyers or the Union. You know.
Yeah.
You know, the Union did great last year. You know, it's a great distraction, and the Philly's one of the best sports cities in the world, just because we're the blue collar, busted knuckle. You know, bring your bologna sandwich in a lunch pail city. You know.
Yeah.
That's why we loved the Broad Street Bullies. That's why we loved, you know, Buddy Ryan, even though he didn't win us a championship, you know. It was his attitude that, you know, he could have ran for mayor and won, you know.
Yeah.
But Jason Kelce is that man. He's you look at him, you go, that man's a hard worker. He comes from a blue-collar family.
Yep.
And he knows what the meaning of a dollar is, you know. So I want to. I'm begging for him one day to walk into a bar and find him. You know, there. I want to buy that man a beer. But I'm glad Jason Kelce's coming back. At least one more year.
Yeah.
You know. Again, sorry, we're turning this into sports talk, but if the Eagles can just go out and get a veteran wide receiver, you know, and some stud defensive players. Because there was a lot of games last year. They lost, you know, a lot of games by, you know, 3 points or, you know, by at least 3 points or a touchdown or less. If they could just get like a lockdown middle linebacker and get a veteran wide receiver for, you know, Jalen Hurts to throw to, I think they'll be in the contention.
I'm really hoping. I'm hoping that they will be able to pull it off again this year. I don't know. As in all things, friends, I remain cautiously optimistic for Philadelphia sports. Meanie.
Oh yeah, yes.
Would you like to ask Meanie?
I would love to. Ask me something.
And don't forget to tweet us your questions at Mind of the Meanie using the hashtag AskMeanie, so we can ask your questions live on the air and play these noises.
I can't remember what regular air smells like.
Let's go to the top here. Let's find out where we are. Mark and Dryden's got 2 questions for us again this week. And
awesome.
I'm going to start with the first one here. If Randy Savage had shown up in ECW, who would be his top 3 people to feud or have matches with? I think one wrestler is obvious, but what about the others? P.S. It's Shane Douglas.
Yeah, it is Shane Douglas. Before you even finished that question, I was like, oh, it had to be Shane Douglas, you know? Just because, you know, Shane Douglas, former multiple-time ECW champion. And the awesome thing about if Randy Savage showed up, Randy, you know, grew up in the territory systems. You know, you hear about when Randy went to Smoky Mountain, you know, and he did the favor for, you know, Johnny Canine. Like Jim Cornette was going to book, you know, a disqualification where, you know, and Randy was like, he's your top guy, right? You know, your top heel, right? Oh, yeah, a cup of coffee. But Savage went to Cornette and it's like, hey, here's your top heel. And Cornette was like, yeah. He's like, I'll put him over. And Randy Savage laid down for Bruiser Bedlam.
Wow.
Which led to another funny story where Bruiser was wrestling somebody up in Michigan, and the guy was like, kind of scoffed at the idea of losing, and the guy's like, hey buddy, hey bro, Randy Savage put me over, but you can't put me over. Hey buddy, you know, just. And the guy's like, oh God, Bruiser's going to kill me.
Yeah.
But you know, Randy Savage in ECW.
Phew, man.
Dude.
Now let me ask this before you go on. Was there actually maybe I'm not aware of this, but like, was there actually talk of the possibility of Randy Savage showing up?
I never heard
of
that, but there was talks of having Vader come in for a second.
Whoa!
I don't even know if that was public knowledge, but you know, Paul was talking about it.
Breaking news.
I'm here's Meanie's shitty movie reviews. No, there was talk of Vader coming in, maybe do something with Mick in the early days of ECW, and I guess maybe this was the Roadkill tour or whatever, but and Mick was just like, I don't see it, you know, because really didn't want to, because he had been in battles with Vader, but I'm not 100% sure how close it was to really happening, but there was talks of Vader coming in. Randy Savage, no talks. I'd never heard anything of it. But dude, talk about monstrous pops. That would have got. Pillman showed up.
Yeah.
Huge ovation. Arn Anderson and Bobby Eaton showing up in ECW. A monstrous pop. Rick Rude.
Oh, yeah.
The best thing about Rick Rude's debut was you didn't even hit music. It was just, you just heard his voice and you knew. You heard, "It's a new year, Shane Douglas." And the crowd just went,
You just knew. Yeah.
They knew that voice. And he came out with the Rey Mysterio mask on. Because, just to hide it, I don't know if he had a Lloyd's of London thing going on or whatever. But he eventually, we had like a post-show meeting. And like on the same stairs as Beyond the Mat. And then nothing, it was just like he brought us in and he had, he wanted us to, thank Rick for coming in. Which, Rick added credibility. And Rick pulled off the mask for like a second because he knew it was around the boys, But he was always worried that there was some kind of stooge going to take a photo of him and get his insurance thing canceled or whatever. Not that he was taking bumps or anything. He was just managing.
That was what he did for the rest of his career, for what I understood.
Yeah, but also the fans knew it was him. But, to save that surprise as well, even though it wouldn't have been a surprise because we all knew it was Rude. But, dude, if Randy Savage came to WWE, the opening notes of Pomp and Circumstance, or just ooh, yeah.
Just something. Yeah, just enough to tease. Yeah. Yep. So you're thinking...
Freak out.
You're thinking Shane Douglas, and then who would your other two be?
Oh, man. That's a good question.
So Liam said Dreamer, Taz, and Douglas. Do you agree with that assessment? I could see a pretty solid program with Dreamer.
It'd be hard with Dreamer because there'd both be baby faces.
Yeah, you'd have to turn them. You'd have to turn one.
And Taz is a baby face too, but Shane was the ultimate heel.
What I'm saying? I don't know if I could see Taz's style.
I could see Savage and Raven.
Yeah, that would be a nice psychological one.
Randy Savage in ECW is no way he's going to be a fucking heel.
Not a chance.
Because he's just not a fucking chance. So you gotta get the top heels. Like I said, Shane Douglas, Raven. Dreamer and Savage would be a tag team.
Yeah.
I would say Bigelow, but I'm sure that might have happened. I don't know.
Yeah, I'd have to look it
up. But I'm trying to think of like the top homegrown heels.
I could see him and Rob having a really solid program though too.
Oh my God! Or how about this? Randy Savage and Mike Awesome.
Yeah.
Fucking Mike Awesome was so good.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, he was
It annoys me what WCW did to him.
Yeah,
with the whole ladies man and the groovy.
Yeah. Well, actually, so let's jump into Mark and Dryden's next question because it's kind of we could use this part with Mike Awesome. If you believe what is on video or written, Taz's WWE run was doomed after or during his debut at the 2000 Royal Rumble. What are your guys' opinions on this? And do you think it would have been as good, better, or worse if he went to WCW instead?
What do you mean, doomed because he got the most over pop at the Royal Rumble?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I'm not sure how it was doomed.
I don't know if it was necessarily doomed, but I remember Taz saying that he came back from Taz said he knew he was kind of like because like he came back and Brooklyn Brawler was like, man, you got a pop out there, and he kind of felt like that might have got him a little bit. He just for the reaction he got at the Royal Rumble, just coming in, He wasn't necessarily a WWE creation.
Yeah.
That's definitely a theme. If WWE didn't create your character, then they're not going to be as invested.
Well,
you can't, with the exception of the Dudley Boys, who, killed it with the APA, literally and figuratively.
Well, I think DDP told me the same thing. His idea when he came into WWE, he was like, I want to fight The Rock. He's like, for me, it's People's Champ versus People's Champ. And they had no interest in doing it, which I thought was the money move. Like, where do you go? Where do you transition to after Hogan? Literally DDP. Like, that made the most sense to me. But go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No. You didn't cut me off. It's just, it's a matter of just being, when you're in the thick of things, when you're in the meetings, or you're in the shit, as they say in war. Because, this is, I guess, this is right after no, this is still during the Monday Night Wars, I think.
Yeah, this was 2000. Yeah.
And then they had Taz. Taz won the ECW belt for Mike Awesome in Indiana. And then they had an ECW versus WWE match on Raw. And Vince even said, looking back at it, I don't know, I probably should have done something different.
Like a schmaz ending or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Do something where Taz and Triple H have a competitive match. There's a kind of a non-finish where you elevate the ECW belt in the eyes of the public, so the people are more willing to go over and look at ECW as well.
Right.
He could have done
lending credibility, but I think in his mind, again, not defending it's not my business, but creatively, he could have been looking at it like, hey, I'm in the thick of war right now, and I have to look as top dog. I mean, at that point, though, the war was kind of already over at that point, though, right?
But at that point, you can still build up ECW to be and try to position ECW as a number two.
Right.
My enemy's enemy is my friend, and not that ECW was an enemy of WWE. Vince was help funding he was helping fund ECW, and he gave us a ton of notoriety with Barely Legal and helped promote us and stuff like that, and gave us a rub. But in that moment, it kind of buried ECW where, okay, Taz lost, and then Tommy Dreamer ran in and got beat up a little bit. If it could have just been like a little schmoz at the end with a non-finish, just a brawl where, double disqualification.
Yeah. Something. Something different. Yeah.
The belt's not losing credibility. You're actually giving the belt in ECW a little bit of credibility. If Tommy Dreamer comes out looking strong.
Right.
Not that he looked weak, but just the booking wasn't right. It could have done a lot more favors for ECW.
Yeah, I never, he asked you guys, so hi, I'm going to answer this question too, if that's good with you guys. I don't necessarily know that I thought that Taz was doomed from the 2000 Rumble. Yo, dude, great shirt. I just realized what you were wearing. Fantastic shirt, man. I love it.
For the folks listening at home, I'm wearing a Foley
Ramones t-shirt.
Ramones style t-shirt with Cactus, Mick, Dude, and Mankind as the names.
I got it. Wherever you cop that, let me know because I got to pick one of those up.
Go ahead.
No. It's fine. Where'd you get that?
It might be I think this might be a one-off. I think it was with a Pro Wrestling Crate or something like that.
Oh, no shit. Dude, that's fucking rad, though.
I don't know if it's available anymore, but sorry.
I'm going to look it up. No. Duh. Hey, man, I missed the boat on that one. I don't know if I would say that Taz was, at least in my opinion, I don't think he was. I think the Triple H match hurt him way more, quote unquote, hurt him way more than the Rumble. But I definitely don't think he would have done any better. He probably would have done worse in WCW because remember at that point, like we're in 2000 mode, right? We're WCW or we're NWO 2000. We're Vince Russo, New Blood. Like I don't comparatively. When I'm glad you mentioned Mike Awesome because comparatively to what they did with Mike Awesome, at least they let Taz be Taz in WWE, right? Like they let him be the human suplex machine. They let him keep his gimmick, whereas like Mike Awesome was this ass-kicking machine in ECW.
Yeah.
And then they move him over there, and it's like, oh, this ladies' man bullshit. You know, I don't know. I don't feel they would have been. It would have been any better in WCW. What do you think?
No, it's a catch-22 because they ruined Mike Awesome, but then they let Public Enemy be Public Enemy.
Right.
So if they would have had Taz come in, and Vince Russo, a fellow New Yorker with Taz.
Maybe you're right.
There's the New York connection there between Russo and Taz. He might have pushed him like a UFC fighter. Taz was our answer to the UFC.
Yeah. So
he could have been. That's why they brought in Paul Varlins to put Taz over on the UFC guy. But he could have done well in WCW. But in hindsight, 2020, that only would have lasted. Until WCW eventually went out of business.
Yeah.
And then he probably would have had to go over to WWE anyway.
Yeah.
So, everybody's an expert with 2020 hindsight. So
that's why I stopped shitting on the Invasion, right? Because I used to be like, oh man, it's fucking terrible, man. I hate it. I can't believe what they fucking did. But it's like, what would I have done? You know what I mean? What would I have done in that position when you don't have, I think they even say it on some of the documentaries too. They're like, everybody has these expectations where it's going to be like Kane and The Undertaker versus, Scott Hall and Kevin Nash and Goldberg versus Austin. And none of those guys were available. None of those guys were going to buy those contracts out. So what were they supposed to do? I don't know.
Kevin Nash had the best line. He's like, I went home, sat on my couch. My wife was like, what are you going to do? He's like, I'm going to sit here and get paid $1 million to drink beer and watch wrestling.
Yeah. Why would you do anything else?
I would have done the exact same thing. It's like finding a lottery ticket.
Oh, yeah, for that kind of money. I mean, those contracts were guaranteed for 2 or 3 more years or something insane like that. Why would anybody come do that? I mean, for the love of the game, I guess. But at the end of the day, a lot of those guys were taking buyouts. I mean, Bruce has talked about it in depth. Bruce, friend of the show, Bruce Pritchard.
Yes.
Also, if you're listening, Meanie for the Hall of Fame. I would have done the same thing, man. They're taking huge cuts on these contracts to come in. I don't know what Diamond Dallas Page's cut looked like when he took the buyout, but I don't know, man. I don't think it would have been. Maybe it would have been better, but it's a lot easier to look at things 2020. Let's see. Let's go to the next one. Russell is asking, when are you coming to the UK?
Oh, dude, I would love to come over to the UK. I love it over there. The last time I was over there was actually for American football. We went to the Eagles-Jaguars game. But for wrestling, I would love to. I did a mini tour. It was Carlisle, Manchester, London, and one other town. I did 4 shows in 4 days. And that was amazing. Yeah, dude, I'd love to. It's just weird with everything going on with the pandemic. I see guys going overseas all the time. I'm like, how are they doing this? Yeah. I thought everybody was on lockdown. Scotty Too Hottie's globetrotting right now, and I'm so happy for him because I love that. I love Scotty, but he's going all over the world. I'm like, I thought we were on lockdown. But dude, I would love to go to the UK. I love England. A town like Manchester reminds me of South Philly. Just or Doncaster when we were doing 1PW. The crowd was chanting. I was like, man, this is like an ECW crowd. This is like South Philly right here. Just passionate people. No bullshit. Mm-hmm. There's no bullshit with the UK crowd. I love them. Here's a funny thing. We might have been in Newcastle. I was tagging with Goldust, and the crowd was chanting at me, "You fat bastard!" Right? But with the accent, I thought they were saying, "You fuck Dustin." So I started signaling no, and doing the I was like, no, because we're in the attitude era, right? I was doing the fucking, but no, I don't fuck Dustin, I get the back door like, no, they were saying you fat bastard. I was like, oh.
Oh, man.
That totally confuses what
That
my reaction.
That message did not come across the way I thought it did. No. Oh,
I'm glad I didn't go, no. That one's exclusive for the Patreon.
Oh, my God. Yeah, you'll have to go back and watch the video for that one, friends. Let's see here. Grand Nothing asks, Meanie, what was your favorite moment in ECW?
Oh, God. All of it.
Yeah.
I mean, talking about storybook, a couple of years. If it wasn't for ECW, I wouldn't be here doing Mind of DeMeanie. I wouldn't have been in WWE. Yep. I probably would have done it for a few years and then maybe going back to work in the casinos. Who knows? But yeah, all of it. I used to go to ECW as a fan. Like I've said plenty of times, you can watch some of those old tapes and see me in the crowd. And then right up till like a couple weeks before I debuted, I posted this a couple weeks ago. It was Rey Mysterio and Psychosis debuted, and you can see the back of my head in the bleachers. 2 weeks later or 3 weeks later, I was debuting.
Wow.
Not knowing.
Yeah.
Because I went and worked the show for Norm, and Raven got the idea and all this stuff, and it's crazy. But my favorite moment in ECW, obviously it was, debuting, and you could talk I'll take BWO out of the equation because, that's obvious. I got the belt right behind my head here. It would have to be Kiss. Just because a lot of people still talk about it to this day. Even I just saw the Kiss Demon recently at Icons Convention, and he was kind enough to put over the fact that I did a good Gene and stuff like that, and he's in depth with the Kiss camp too. So probably don't Kiss. Even Jericho put it over in one of his books. As one of his favorite things to watch in ECW. He's like, look at these goofballs. My favorite thing about doing the Kiss thing is we debuted it the night before at Lulu Temple in the Plymouth meeting. And I got the wrong kind of face paint. I got the grease paint.
Oh, no.
So, Sting, Road Warriors, all those guys use acrylic paint. And I had normally been using acrylic paint anyway for my raccoon eyes, and Nova uses acrylic paint for his eye, the star on his face. But for whatever reason, I went out and got acrylic paint thinking, and it's hot as hell. It's summertime. So we're painting our faces and we're sweating. So like the black and the white's mixing together to this gray thing, and we're having to wash our face and reapply. It got to the point where we said, fuck it, we just painted our faces and stood in the meat locker. That they had a walk-in meat locker at Lulu Temple, in their kitchen. So like when it was up, somebody ran up, knocked on the door, your music's playing, and we ran out to the ring. And then Nova got the idea, no, tomorrow we'll get the acrylic Liquitex, paint our faces up. And one of my favorite, we're getting ready to go out, and I put Gene Simmons, spits blood and he does the fireball. But there's no way I'm spitting fire. But I can't spit the blood the way he did because it's so thick. So I did like a tribute to Muda. So I run out there and I do the spray the mist. But I put it in my mouth like a couple moments too early. So I'm sitting there and Shane Douglas has come over. Meanie, I love the paint, and I'm trying like. I couldn't talk because I had the blood in my mouth. So we go out and I do it. And just to watch the secondary reaction from the crowd.
Yeah.
The crowd's chanting, "We Want Kiss," because most of them I seen it the night before. We come out, there's that initial reaction. I wish we would have got JT Smith to do the Fargo Strut with us because we did the Fargo Strut as Kiss. I wish we could have got JT because JT Smith introduced us. I wish we could have got him to do the strut with us. We did the strut, but I'm getting a little ahead of myself. But when we hit the ring, everybody's going crowded. I do the Muda mist straight up like as a mix between the blood and the fire that Gene Simmons said. And just a secondary reaction to watching people watch the plume of red go up was really cool.
Yeah.
The photographers at ringside hated it.
I'm sure.
But
I'm sure. Yeah, they wanted the shot in the ring. Yeah, they wanted to get you there. Yeah.
Yeah. No. They got sprayed with the mist.
Oh no, man.
Like when the volcano erupts, there's that fallout that he settles around it. I was like,
man, dude.
Yeah, George Napolitano and George DeHandis are like, thanks, Meanie. You know, because I stained their clothing with the food coloring I was spraying. But and then and then Sandman runs out. And, I fed him the line. I was like, get on the mic and go, I want to kick your ass tonight, which got another pop. That's my favorite point up until when Sandman ran out. Because at that point I had enough of those cane shots.
Oh God, yeah. Those even now to this day when I watch somebody take that Singapore cane, man, or the kendo stick,
yeah.
There's just fucking no good way to take that, is there?
I quickly learned that to deaden the cane shot, the best way to take it is get in as close as you can to him.
Yeah.
Because the closer to the handle he hits you with, the less it hurts. Because at least it bends. If he hits you with the head of the kendo stick, it's like a Louisville Slugger.
Oh God.
But like that. Dude, he'd hit me with the part near the handle, and it would bend, go over my back, and rip skin off my back.
Oh my God.
Yeah. There's a lot of last showers I had a lot of ouchies and oochies. Ouch. Ooh. Oh my
God. I don't know where we found a kendo stick or what Singapore cane, whatever you want to call it. We found one when we were I don't know where we were. We were out and about in our town somewhere, and my brother found it and brought it home, and we were like, all right, who's going to be the Sandman? And who's going to take this shot? And my brother hit me across the back with it, literally diagonal across the back. I can feel my skin right now. It's standing up from the sheer pain.
Shock.
Oh my.
The shock.
Yeah. And there's no way, there just is no good way to take it. I can't, or even a leather strap. I can't imagine taking a hit like that over and over and over again.
People say, how do you fake that? You don't.
It's just, you do it. Oh, God.
Do it.
You just got to take it, man.
We have a collection of canes, which Mrs. Meanie was Christmas Sandman for at a convention.
That's great.
And we were doing icons at the arena. Sandman, and she bleached her hair like him. How he has the tattoo of his face on his arm, his bicep. She made a temporary tattoo of her own face as the Sandman and put it on her arm. Sandman's got the barbed wire tattoo around his arm. Instead of that, she had Christmas lights.
That's awesome, man.
Temporary tattoo, Christmas light. And the Singapore cane, she painted like a candy cane. So it was a candy cane instead of a Singapore cane. Sandman saw that and he popped so huge. He was like, Meanie, I was coming here. I was like, I'm going to. But I saw that she gave me a jolt of electricity. She gave me it's great. So I'm sitting here, I'm looking over at her candy cane that's wrapped in not barbed wire but Christmas lights.
That's amazing,
pretty
man.
Cool. Yeah,
that's so good. We got a couple more questions for you here. Pod Squad member Andy Schlichter wants to know, what are Meanie's secrets? Obviously, besides Manscaped, use promo code Meanie20 to succeed on Valentine's Day.
Just I was raised with women, so it's just I was raised by my grandma, raised by my mom, lived with a sister. Just be genuine, Just they always say women love the jerk, but just if you can make a woman laugh, and be witty, not overly hey,
Don't be Jerry Lewis.
Yeah, don't be Jerry Lewis about
Hey.
it. Just, have some manners. Have some goddamn manners. Hold the door.
Yeah.
Push in her chair. Let the waiter take her order first. Ask her what she would like to drink, where she would like to go. make it her day.
Yep.
Yep. Just, dude, my grandmom raised me, we're walking down the street with your date. Make sure you're walking on the side of the street. Yeah, and I was like, why is that? She's like, well, if a car jumps the thing, you'll get hit for or something like that, or somebody drives through a puddle, you'll get splashed instead of her. You'll be the protector of the woman. My grandma raised me on all those things, ways to protect the woman and stuff like that. So, and that just translated into my everyday life. If I'm walking down the street with Mrs. Meanie, I always take the street side of the sidewalk or stuff like that. Just different things. But it's not something that's put on. It's just something that's ingrained.
Yeah. Don't overthink it. Yeah, just do it.
Yeah, just be natural.
Yeah.
Show vulnerability. Some guys try to be macho and overcompensating, and sometimes that's a real turnoff. It's a real put off, not only to your date, but just the people around you. Look at this guy. Look at this asshole. Don't be that guy. Don't be the guy where people go, oh, look at this fucking asshole.
Yeah, don't be me. Right.
Look at this fucking crow.
Who the fuck is this guy? This guy is not Josh Chernoff. I tuned into this fucking show. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
No, those are all great advice. All fantastic tips. Last question for this week. Anderson asks, one more match. 6-man tag. You, Stevie, and Nova. Any promotion, anybody. Who would it be?
Oh, this is something I was just talking about recently with Nova. We're still pissed about it. We're still really kind of annoyed by it. When Chikara was still a thing, they had the King of Trios.
Yeah.
And they finally brought us in for King of Trios, and Mike Quackenbush goes, the BWO was the most requested 6-man tag for King of Trios ever. And, we're like, and he had us lose in the first round. And we're like, what? And I was like, dude, they missed, me and Nova were just talking about this. They missed the fucking boat. They could have had BWO versus the Bullet Club.
Oh, man.
Because BWO was in King of Trios that year, and the Bullet Club, it was the Young Bucks and AJ Styles. And we did, there's a video on YouTube where...
Hold the phone.
Yeah.
They had the opportunity to do the Blue World Order and the Bullet Club with the Young Bucks and AJ Styles.
Yes.
After he told you that the BWO was the most requested King of Trios tag group.
Yeah.
How?
All right.
How, Sway? How?
I don't get it. It's like he has, Quack's pre-show speeches were this supposedly his phenomenal thing, and he said that in front of the whole locker room. BWO, thank you for being here. You're the most requested trios or whatever, and stuff. Hey, even if you had to lose to them in the first round to the Bullet Club, that would have been something. But there was that dream match you could have had, and they squandered it.
Unbelievable. Genuine unbelievable right now.
BWO was a derivative of the NWO, and the Bullet Club kind of did all the NWO stuff with the Too Sweet and all that stuff. We could have had the Too Sweet off or anything.
Oh my God.
And there's a video somewhere on YouTube of us from Chikara, and we're kind of playing off the fact that the Bullet Club was watching us do our promo.
Yeah.
We're doing the promo in this room, and everybody, it's in the locker room, everybody's there, and AJ and the Bucks are right off to our right. And we were we did something where we were pointing them out, you don't see them on camera, but we reference them in our promo. I was like, we could have a super kick party. Stevie does the super kick, the Bucks do the super kick.
To me, that just seems, how do you not do that?
It was there.
It was literally right there. I am angry now. Add me in to this 3-man tag with you and Nova and Adam being fucking pissed about this, because that could have been big money, dude.
And that's kind of the reason why, like, me and Stevie and Nova are like, man, do we even want to keep doing indies as a 6-man? Because, just they bring, come on in and lose to our local team. It's like, nah, you know what? How about this? How about we just call it a day, preserve our legacy?
Yeah.
And, I'll still do indies. Those guys, Nova's doing wonderful things he runs a couple banks. He just recently won a couple awards.
Oh, great.
Stevie's doing fantastic stuff with his fitness line. Stevie Richards Fitness. I'm doing mine and DeMeanie. I'm still doing indies. I'm still making surprise appearances here and there. We're all doing our thing, but we got we're in a video game. We're in Retromania Wrestling, which is right here. I'm looking at a photo of us on the side of a cabinet,
which was just on The Price is Right, by the way.
Yes, thank you you for remembering that. I was literally on the. Well, technically, that's the second time I was on The Price is Right set, but the first time I snuck on. Quick story: I posted a photo of me with the Price is Right wheel. I have a friend, Big John. Big John used to be a indie wrestler. Then he got hurt, but he started doing security for guys like Bret Michaels, Saliva, all these rock bands. So he's like, hey, and I was out in California at the time. He's like, hey man, I'm with Saliva. We're doing the Craig Kilborn show. You want to come check us out? You want to come check us out? Sure. So he walks me through security, takes me up to the green room, and I'm hanging out with Saliva, and I watched him perform, and we're trying to leave the building, and we got lost, and we literally walked out onto the Price is Right set, and we're like, holy shit. So I had a camera with me, so I took a photo, I took a photo with the wheel. I took a photo of them with the wheel. I took a photo in Contestants Row, in the Showcase Showdown. And it was pretty cool. And I think a security guard might have been like, oh, okay. These guys are all right.
Yeah.
But it was pretty cool. So then, flash forward, 2 weeks ago, they give away an iArcade with Retromania Wrestling on the cover on The Price is Right in the Showcase Showdown. Crazy. Or no, it wasn't in the show. It was in Contestants Row when they were doing the initial. But yeah, that was still pretty cool. So, the BWOs in this video game, we have a line of figures coming out from Cello, which I sent you a kayfabe copy.
Can't wait. Can't wait to pick them up.
Here, I'll do an exclusive for the Pod Squad if you're watching, since you're, for our Patreon, that
right?
Is. Let's
and for anyone else who's not in the Patreon group,
I can't remember what regular Arsenal was like.
It's your fault. You're not here. Sign up today. Patreon.com/Mind of the Meanie.
Stall for a second.
Hey, listen, man. Listen, I am excited. I agree, though. I think that in the grand scheme of things, it's almost like if that's what most of the companies, the indies, are going to do, like why bother? Why bother?
If you're at Mind of the Meanie, at patreon.com/Mind of the Meanie, this is what the BWO 3-pack's going to look like. Well, it's not a 3-pack, but let me see.
There you go. Right there is good. Yep. Holy shit. I cannot wait. Cannot wait to pick those up, man. Cannot wait.
That's an exclusive. Yeah.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, so I think we're just about to preserve we're just about preserving our legacy now, but instead of just going out and losing to every local whatever. But not that there's a problem with doing the job, but like if I'm going to do a job, it's going to be to the fucking Bullet Club.
Yeah. So here's the question now: who would it be? Would it still be the Bullet Club, or would it be somebody else now?
I have a friend who's a promoter, Julian, out in the Midwest, and he was dead set on doing NWO versus BWO, but the NWO guys aren't wrestling anymore. But fantasy booking, I loved it. BWO against. Let me see, because who are like a proper 6-man? I mean, there's the Freebirds, of course. Yeah, I would love to have wrestled Terry Gorey. Well, I kind of did work with Terry Gorey in ECW.
Yeah.
But work with those guys, sit under that learning tree. Rock and Roll Express with Bobby Eaton as a special 6-man. Because again, Bobby Eaton's my all-time guy. I wish I would have worked with. So imagine the Rock and Roll Express with Bobby Eaton against the BWO.
Yeah, that would have been crazy good, man.
That's
Crazy
my
good.
fantasy, and that's my fantasy. I'm sticking to it.
Well, Meanie, thank you so much for your time, as always, here and this trip through the mind of the Meanie. Tell everyone where they can find you on your socials.
Well, when I'm not at McCuskers, you can find me on social media at Blue Meanie BWO on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, which I don't know how to use. You can support me by going to ProWrestlingTees.com/Blue Meanie. If you want to support the podcast, go to ProWrestlingTees.com/Mind of the Meanie. If you want to support this podcast, you can listen each and every Monday, or if you want to watch us, record in real time and see the stuff we might cut out, go to patreon.com/Mind of the Meanie. If you want a birthday wish, holiday wish, that a boy wish, go to cameo.com/Blue Meanie BWO. I just did a bunch of those this week, and it's a lot of fun to do, and it's good to get those 5-star ratings. People send the feedback. So that's all the ways of which you can support the Blue Meanie. How can they support Mr. Adam Barnard?
Thank you, sir. You can go on Twitter and Instagram and find me at This Is Goober. That is my real handle. I'm keeping it, and it's a gimmick, pal. You can go to follow me on all of my socials at This Is Goober. You can also check out my side project, my side hustle, Foundation Radio, which is my conversation program. Just recently featured WWE Hall of Famer Rob Van Dam. An incredible conversation. We talk about all kinds of great stuff. Go to foundationradio.net to check that out. You can also go to prowrestlingtees.com/foundationradio. Pick up a shirt, support the show. Meanie, thank you so much for your time as always. Don't forget to join the Pod Squad.
Thank you.
Pod Squad, thank you so much. Patreon.com/Mind of the Meanie. Join us today for the Blue Meanie. I am Adam Barnard. Join us again each and every week as we take a trip through the mind of the Meanie. Peace.
This episode of Mind of the Meanie was recorded and produced by Adam Barnard and was engineered by Carl Pinnell. Additional production and narration provided by Sam Krebs. Our executive producers are Josh Chernoff, Adam Barnard, and the Blue Meanie. Our opening theme is performed by the Swamp Candles. Our closing theme is performed by Chikara. The show contains original music produced by Enrichment. Get additional bonus content by becoming our patron on Patreon at patreon.com/Mind of the Meanie. And follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Mind of the Meanie. This has been a Butts Carlton media production in conjunction with the MLW Radio Network. Butts Carlton, proprietor.
Blue World Order.
Dad, why is Blue Meanie's brain out?
The world of MLW Radio never stops.